Well, I used the truck for truck stuff this morning and did a quick trash run before I headed over here to my dad's. Found some decent stuff. No small engine stuff in this haul, unfortunately, but I did find some tools, probably in that box. There's some DVDs and movies in this one. I just did a quick glance at it when it was at the curb, and saw that there was some stuff in there that might be interesting. And then I found this box with couple different cans. Most of this is scrap metal. This fan is most likely going to be scrapped. This fan, I'm not sure if it works or not, but these Vornados are pretty expensive brand new. So if this thing needs to just be cleaned out, which it looks like it's just got a bunch of pet hair and dander in it, that'll be a good shop fan. But let's get started. Might as well start with this one. So I guess we'll start with this box that says handle with care. Now, as you guys know that have watched my trash haul videos, what I do is if I see a box like this and there's 1, 2, 3 items in it that pique my interest, I don't sit there and paw through it because it's kind of tacky. Don't really want to piss off the homeowner sitting out in front of their house. Likely they're not going to have a problem with it, but there's other people that do this trash picking stuff and they leave the entire area in front of somebody's house a mess. I don't do that. So if I see something I like, I'll take the whole box. I've got plenty of room in the back of the truck, and it comes with me. So that's one of my rules that I do follow. But first thing, we've got a couple power strips. I don't know if these are any good or not. If they're good, great. They always come in handy. If they're not, the cords will be scrapped, as well as the stuff inside. Got this Triple Light brand. I've never heard of this one. They're probably okay. I always make a point to pick up power strips just because they come in handy a lot for the stuff that I do. And I've actually taken and given a lot of them to the guys at work who need them for their toolboxes or their area. These cords always come in handy. Most likely this one's fine. It honestly looks pretty much brand new, so I doubt there's anything wrong with it. Now I did find the sawhorse, which I don't know why they threw it away, other than I guess it's plastic. I don't know, but it seems to be okay. Solid, nothing really wrong with it. These do come in handy from time to time. The dad uses these more than I do. So we've got a thing of JB Weld. That'll come in handy. Palm sander strips, more sanding. We've got some sort of battery container. That'll be thrown away. This looks like a hot plate of some kind. It's got a big crack in it, so that's junk as I drop it. But yeah, that's trash. Some paintbrushes. Got one of these. These always come in handy for stuff that isn't painting, so that's nice. Found some drop cloths. Most of this looks like it's painting stuff. This is a Canon battery. I don't see the camera that it goes to in here. That's trash. Crud cutter, non-toxic, biodegradable. Is this a degreaser? Yeah, removes goo, gum, grease, and more. That'll come in handy for out here. Got a color sample of paint, and it looks like it's dry, so we'll toss that. Got a brand new can of or tube of Gorilla Glue. This is useless. Can't use that for anything. More Disney crap. You have to be careful with some of this stuff because, you know, it might look like trash, but it might be worth something. Rope, that always comes in handy. We've got a DisplayPort cable. That's obsolete now. Well, I don't think it's obsolete, but I have no use for it. Got another color sample. That's trash. Had a couple of these brand new bar clamps. For whatever reason, they threw these away. There's nothing wrong with them. And by the way, I found this other brand new bar clamp. So I'll be holding on to that. Got a brand new tube of Gorilla Glue. I don't know if these people just had a project they were gonna do at one point and just didn't do it. Scraper, paint. Oh, brand new lightning cable. Definitely need this, and it's the it's that new connection. Save that. Tack adhesive. I think it's still good. I don't think it's dry yet. Then we've got a thing of tape, which still looks like it's decent. More sanding paper. Trash, more trash. We've also got some cutting board oil. I don't really have any use for that, but it's looks like it hasn't even been used. And then I took this out. Glaze coat, great for bars. Never used. Those two boxes up there got from the same house, so let's pull those back. Brand new roll of shop rags came with everything too, so that'll be used. Some more wood varnish. Wood varnish. More wood varnish. That's no use for that. So inside, got some gloves that have been used. Wood screws, more tape. Plenty of tape to go around. Yeah, it looks like they were making some sort of Disney stuff. No use for any of that. Yeah, this was somebody's project that they gave up on. No use for any of that. But this is a really nice box that we can actually put most of this stuff into. Yeah, that's all warped and trash. So this box, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that most of this is scrap, if not all of it. Yeah, that's all scrap. This is, I believe this is aluminum, if not copper. I bet this came from an Electrolux. Circuit breaker panel, scrap metal, old Chrysler key. The rest of that's trash. So I found another box. Shark Week DVD, kid book, Martha Stewart, cats, more cats. Here's all the movies. Yeah, and when I looked at all these movies, I picked a few out, and they still had movies in them. But you know what? They look like bootlegs. They've got all the Battlestar Galactica stuff. I don't even know what these cartoons are. Honestly, I don't think this stuff is really worth much of anything. Weird Science, Futurama. Yeah, these are all bootleg discs. American Dad. That show was pretty funny. I mean, they look complete. Yeah, I don't even know. I thought this was a game. I don't know what that is. Yeah, pretty much all of it's junk. Sucks that this is broken. Those of you that have one of these, there's no memory card in it, so I don't know what they did here. Oh well. This is going to go into e-waste. The rest of these discs, I have no use for this stuff, so this is, you know, it's not all legit stuff. It's just bootleg crap. So it's pretty much trash as far as I'm concerned. Shark Week is complete, whatever that's worth. So it's a Hunter fan. Really nothing special, unfortunately, but it's good enough for scrap. You guys can see that vintage Panasonic fan that I picked up. That one's currently in my office at the house, but this thing's not vintage at all. It's just mass produced. It's a smaller load than I've normally picked up in the past, but overall there's some good scrap and good tools in here. I'm gonna let the dad pick through some of it, see what he wants. Stay tuned for more vids. So I did a quick load last night. Didn't really find too much, but I found this treadmill, which most likely still works. I've actually been looking at buying one of these, and if this works, I can take out the $300 one that's in my Amazon save list that I only had in there in case I could never find one in the street in a reasonable amount of time. And it's been about a month and I finally found one. So hopefully this thing works. If not, it's got about a 15-pound or 20-pound motor in it that's good for scrap, and plenty of scrap metal to throw away as well. Let's go ahead and unload it. And I also found this Black & Decker weed eater, which I don't have the batteries for here. I've got the batteries at my girlfriend's house, so I'm sure this thing still works. This kind of doesn't really look all that great. And then I've got this vintage weed eater blower, which I only picked up for scrap. Motors have come up in value for scrap prices, so that's the only reason why I picked it up. But if I had the bottom part here, as well as the nozzle that goes on the end, I probably wouldn't scrap it. I'd probably find a home for it. But now that I'm looking at it, that's that little bracket's pretty worn out there, so maybe there's a reason why it's not on anymore. Motor's pretty tight too, so might be a bunch of rust in there. Oh well. Made a quick trash run this morning. It's kind of a bad rotation of neighborhoods this week. There really isn't many neighborhoods that are doing it, but I found a couple fans. No idea if they work or not. I figure at least one of them does, so I'd have a good fan to bring into work. I found an older Roomba. It probably works, but the batteries, I'm guessing the battery's shot. So it seems like it's in decent condition. Hasn't vacuumed up dog crap, so it's probably just fine. And then this, somebody was using as a dog food holder, but I'm gonna wash it out. And use it inside of the truck for a trash can. That's what I do with the other car and any other car I've had. It's really handy to have. Just stick it in behind the back, or the front, in front of the back seat and behind the front seat. And there you go. So just need to wash it out. So I just plugged it in. I'm guessing it was thrown away because they lost the key, but any magnet will work as a key. I just got on it, just tried it out. Seems to work fine. If anything, I don't know if these need some sort of lubrication underneath the belt, but it seems to work okay. Really no issue with it. Supports me just fine. So I would say that this was a good deal overall. I'm happy with that. So a quick trash run today after work. Found this old, I believe it's from 1991, Sky Comish bike, mountain bike. It's got Shimano everything, derailleur, sprocket. I think this stuff up here, the brake levers are Shimano too. So it's decent. I haven't even tried to put air on the tires yet, but the tread looks good. Looks like they've been changed out at some point. I don't know if the tubes are still good or not. If they're not, that's not hard to change out. Plastic scuff disc there is all messed up, so that'll have to be replaced. Overall, the bike needs to be cleaned up. And of course, the kickstand is wired up in place, so most likely this just needs to be tightened up or adjusted. Not really too worried about it. And some of my viewers like when I pick up these vintage lamps, so I almost didn't pick this one up, but it looked like it was in good condition when I passed by it. Switches still seem to work. I have no clue who makes this, but it does have this sticker right here. Never heard of the brand. So might be worth something, might not. Years ago I found trash picking that lamp up there, and that lamp is actually worth about 80 bucks, or at least it was when I had checked it. I have no idea what it's worth now, but that lamp gets used. This one will probably get used too. Really handy to have. Right next to it, I only picked it up because it was convenient, but there was some scrap metal, this retrieval rake. I have no idea what it is. It's broken. When I tried opening up the arms, this piece on this side broke off. Whatever it is, it's probably useless now. And then there's a curtain rod there. This stuff's just aluminum. And then this, I found this water purifier. Don't know how much these go for new. This one looks like it was never used. Or maybe it was used. I didn't really take too good of a look at it. That's what I get. But it's funny because, you know, with the shine on the box, makes it look like it's made out of stainless steel, and this thing's just cheap plastic. So I didn't even notice that either. I just saw it sitting out of a box with the lid open like this. Thought, hey, maybe that's something, and it's not. It's garbage. Lamp works fine. It's pretty awesome. Quick trash run this morning. I actually picked this electric lawnmower up from my neighbor. I don't know if it's any good, but I was mainly just wanting it for the charger, and there's 2 batteries in it. They told me that they couldn't get it to run, so I don't know what's going on with it. Also found a Kirby G5 and a like new Dirt Devil. All right, so this load is a combination of stuff that I picked up last night and this morning. Let's start with this chainsaw. I didn't realize how beat up it was even after I picked it up and just threw it in the back. I saw it, I saw the color of the case, knew what it was because I'd owned one of these before. Got out, picked it up, tossed it in. But this chainsaw might actually be, it might not be worth fixing. At first I thought it didn't have the chain on it, but it does. It does have compression. The carb controls don't really seem to work all that well, but the trigger does. So I've had one of these saws before. They're kind of junk to begin with, so I might not put all that much money into this thing, and there's probably a Black Widow residing in there somewhere, but probably mess with that later. I also found some computers. This one looks to be custom made. It's got an AMD chip in it, but I don't know which one it is. Let's open this up. They took the hard drive out. That's okay, we'll get back to that. But it's got an MSI board, so yeah, it's definitely, let's see, Windows XP Professional. So this thing is old. Probably not worth much other than scrap value. You know, it might be interesting to turn it on and plug a monitor into it and see what happens. If anything, the case is good. Don't know if this works. It's a Hedgehog hedge trimmer, Black & Pecker. Found Black & Pecker NiCad rechargeable cheapo drill. This just happened to be in a pile of stuff that I grabbed. Don't know if it works. Black & Pecker edger, electric edger, which needs a little bit of work. I don't know if this thing is worth it or not, but it's got a motor in it, pretty nice sized motor in it for scrap. So I grabbed that. We'll get to these black bags in a minute. But I found this Macintosh Performa, or Quadra 610. I have no clue if it turns on. There was no peripherals with it, no keyboard, no mouse. The monitor, or at least what was left of it, was next to it. The outer shell of the monitor was there, but the tweakers took the CRT out of it for some reason. So I guess that's worth money to them. But all the other stuff, there wasn't anything, no discs, nothing like that. That was it. So truthfully, I don't even have a way to test this because I don't have a keyboard for it. I mean, I could plug it in and see if it at least turns on, but that's about all I'm going to be able to get out of it. And then I picked this up. This is just a DVR. The only reason I picked these up is because they tend to have pretty big hard drives in them. So I figured if that computer was worth anything, I could take the hard drive out of this and put it in that computer. That's probably not worth it for that computer anyways, but we'll see what kind of hard drives in these black bags. I don't know how many of my viewers know anything about aviation stuff, but both of these bags have these David Clark headsets in them. Now these are not cheap headsets by any stretch. Unfortunately, I don't know if I could use these because they have a different connection on them. But these headsets are not cheap. Brand new, they go for a couple $100, sometimes more. I think they're like $350, but I can't remember. But it looks like there's 4 headsets. So in total, there's 3 David Clark headsets. This one's the older style. I guess these are the newer style. And then there's this kind of off-brand ProFlight, which I don't know if this one's worth anything. But in aviation, we use these on the ground to talk to each other when we're doing power-ons or stuff like that, where we need the systems on inside and we need to talk to each other to verify different parts of the aircraft are working. Somebody's usually in the cockpit operating the controls, and these are the headsets we use. Lastly, I found this floor mat, which I didn't pick this up for any of the vehicles. I only really use stuff like this to kind of kneel on when I'm working on stuff out here. Stuff like that is a little bit easier on yourself. There was just a bunch of scrap metal and hardware in here. This California Duster was in there. I seem to always pick these up one way or the other. This is actually a better quality one because it's got the wooden handle. Most of them now are plastic. And then all that's in here is just scrap hardware, some plumbing stuff, a couple saw blades. Not really too much to write home about here, but the dad usually likes going through some of the stuff for like the sprinkler stuff. And he picks out what he wants, and then I'll take the metal and sort all that out and get rid of it. But yeah, all in all, it's not a bad load. Unfortunately, no small engine stuff, but let's plug those 2 things in and see if they can turn on. So this works. Test this beast. These are like a one of those electric hand saws. It's mounted to some wheels and a big blade. It's pretty much all they are. Just needs to be cleaned up. And here's the Kirby. All I've done to it is taken the brush roll out and cleaned all the hair off of it. Took the shop vac, little shop vac back there, and cleaned off all the dust that was inside of the brush chamber. And of course, so they're running paper bags in it, which is why there's dust that's coming out of this. But this is stupid easy to deal with. Just throw a HEPA bag in it. But before I do that, I always take them off of the mTOR, take them off from up here, and I just launder the bag, usually by itself on the quick wash setting with my clothes washer, and that washes these bags like they're brand new. Kirby's are so easy to work on and deal with. It's really a shame that some people throw them away, but this one's in really good condition. This one I found in the trash too. I think I showed it in the last video. This one's a G4, the one that came before it. Kind of the same thing, but the cord is all messed up. And this is all wobbly, so I'd have to adjust that. But yeah, it's always a sad day when somebody throws out a perfectly good Kirby. This one looks like they just had some work done to it because this is a newer cord. And then also, I don't think it's got the old fan in it either. So, sad to say, but at least it's in my hands now and not into the scrap bin. And of course, I almost forgot to mention, I got this motorcycle ramp. Seems to be in good condition. Still has the ramp out part here that hits the ground so you can wheel the bike up onto it. But this is one of the ones that goes into your receiver. It came with the pin. So thing weighs about 70 pounds or so, I would imagine. It's pretty damn heavy. I was able to get it in here just fine, but just got to go put this on the side of the shop. So I just did a quick trash run, picked up these two vacuums, which you guys will probably see videos on. This one looked in a lot better condition than when I picked it up than now I'm looking at it now, because the nozzle's broken. This isn't a hard fix. I don't know how much these nozzles go for, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up. There's black widow eggs on it, and probably will make for a good video. Hose is still in good shape. This Shark vacuum, these are not the best machines, but my Shark videos that I've done in the past seem to do real well. So that's the only reason why I pick them up, is because so many people look for these videos on how to fix their Sharks. And I don't know what's wrong with this one. I'm just going to assume it's clogged, because that's usually why somebody throws a vacuum away that doesn't have any readily apparent signs of abuse or being broken. So that's probably the only thing that's wrong with it. And then I found this Craftsman mower, which needs a new outer bag and needs a new one of these. I've had to replace these before in the past. Looks like it just needs a spring, but we'll have to source one of those. Good thing about these machines is parts are not expensive for them at all. I also found that at a different house. Don't know what it's for Craftsman or for some other brand. I have no idea. But this Craftsman still has gas in it. Cable still works amazingly. And it's got compression. I just pulled the cord a few times. Compression's good. Didn't want to start, so most likely just has a dirty carburetor. And then also, I didn't pick these up as part of a trash run. I got them from neighbors. I posted an ad up saying that I would haul away any junk machines that people don't want, that's just taking up space, that they just want gone. And sure enough, I had quite a few people hit me up. I picked up this one, which I've already gotten running and made a video on. It's definitely a beater mower. I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm kind of erring on the side of pulling the motor off of it and just scrapping the rest, just because there's just too much wrong with it. I don't have the outer bag for it, and to be honest, I don't think I would be able to get very much money for it, just because it looks so busted up and shabby. I picked up this Honda, which has got compression. It's one of the fully loaded ones. I think it's from 2011 based on the serial number, but it's got a 2-speed transmission, fully manual throttle control with choke, and it's got the Honda blade clutch system in it. So it's actually pretty nicely loaded. The bag is still in decent shape. I could probably do to pressure wash it off with one of the lower pressure nozzles I've got, but overall this will be a runner too for sure. It always amazes me when somebody throws away a Honda, no matter how old it is. They're easy to sell. Craftsmans are easy to sell, but Hondas are a lot easier to sell. They go quick. I've had ones go for perfect condition for, I think the most I ever got for one was like 240 bucks. And I could have priced it higher, but that Honda, I had like 5 or 6 people in the course of about an hour asking me about it, and the first person that looked at it bought it. That was a few years back. But this one, I wouldn't be surprised if I would get at least 200 for it all fixed up. And then I found these given to them. They were given to me by the same person that gave me this Craftsman. Both of them have compression. This likely just needs the jets cleaned out. It's got the new style carburetor on it, so I'm not really worried about that one. This one, the owner told me that her son tried to mess with it a little bit, but I don't know how far he got, but it looks like he messed with the spring there for the linkage, because it's kind of bent up a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to sort that out. So today's trash haul, didn't really find too much. I did find a battery. Looks to be in really good condition, but it has been used. 821, that's how old it is. Worst case, it's good for scrap value. I always pick up batteries just because I take them in when I take all my scrap metal in, if they're junk, and basically they can bring back a good amount of money if you have enough of them. Also found a little oil pan here. I don't know where mine went, so that's the only reason I picked this one up. It came with a mulching plug and a side chute for a mower, but there was no mower there. I found this Riccar, and of course the tweakers already took the liberty of cutting the cord off of it, and they did it in the worst way possible. Well, actually I take that back. It looks like they just cut it off here. For some reason I thought that they had cut off this one too, but so this is good. That's an easy fix. But I just gotta undo this and then just wire in a new part of the cord. These handles, they always wear out like this. That's pretty normal for these machines. Pretty sure the bag in this vacuum is full. Paper bag junk. So we'll just get rid of this. So the rest of that will be clean up really well. These hard bags that Riccar Simplicity uses, they're really not all that bad. They're easy to clean. I also found this Auric, which I know nothing about these. I think I may have seen one of these and it was destroyed, but it's all complete. I didn't check the tools. They are all there though. Cord's there. Rewind still works. Power button, and it's got variable power. I don't know where it was manufactured, but let's get it off the truck. So this power head looks an awful lot like a Wesselwerk, which are German made, but there's nothing on it that signifies what country it was made in other than this. So maybe it was assembled at the Auric plant in New Orleans. I have no idea. But interestingly, so the canister, the bag says made in Germany. So that's I don't know what's going on there, but seems to be in good enough condition. Hopefully it works. Just got back from a quick trash run. Found this Craftsman mower with the bag. It appears that they got rid of this machine because the I hit something with the blade. You can see how bent it is right there, so hopefully the shaft is okay. If the shaft is not okay, I have a good donor engine over there on that machine that I could swap onto this one, and we'll be good to go. But it's got compression. This feels a little funny. I think the flywheel key is sheared. And then I did find a small box of stuff here, the updated version of the Atari 2600. I had the one with the wood grain on it when I was a kid. And some Legos, controllers. I think this thing's a controller. Yeah, it is. For a Sesame Street game of some kind. But got all these Legos and stuff here. I don't know if there's any games in here for the Atari. I doubt that there is, but it's in pretty rough condition, all those Legos. And here's the last clip for this haul. Picked up a Tecumseh Craftsman mower. Have not seen one of these face to face in years. It has been a long time since I've had one of these that somebody's wanted me to fix. I can't even remember the last time I picked one of these up, or somebody brought me one, or any of that. It used to be that when I went out trash picking 10 years ago, half of the mowers that I would find were Tecumsehs. Now I haven't seen one of them. In fact, I got this one from one of my neighbors. It doesn't look too far away from me. And yeah, these things are getting rarer and rarer. I know some people out there still find them from time to time, but my personal experience with them, I haven't seen them in a while. I think it's got compression. They've got the handle on this way, so we'll have to address that. It's got compression. I can't pull on this thing too hard because, of course, the front bolts are missing. But, does it even have any gas in it? I don't think it does. Nope, bone dry. Not that it would matter anyways. I have not looked at the underside yet. That's not too bad. The blade's in excellent condition. A little bit of rust, but that's not a big deal. This thing will be a good candidate to repair. So I'm gonna have to get some stuff for it. I do stock some things for these. I have some primer bulbs, which this one is like a rock. And then I've got gaskets for the bowl, the needle, the bottom bolt gasket. I have a bunch of those on hand, and that's it. I need to get an air filter, and it's going to need an oil change. But other than that, probably be able to get it running again and clean it back up some and send it on its way.